Hey, I'm Maurice Evans, the business coach, also known as Hot City, and I'm here with your Music Biz Tip. Today in this video, you're going to learn how to get paid for your gigs and avoid getting screwed by promoters. Listen, if you've been in this music business for any length of time and you are an artist or you know someone who's an artist, at some point, from the independent artist standpoint, you have heard the horror story of how they did this show and how they rocked the crowd and how everybody loved them, and at the end of the show, the promoter hemmed and hawed, and for whatever reason, he could not or would not pay them. Oh, we didn't get enough people, or oh, we didn't think this or that, or no, I had told you it was going to be like this, or you didn't sell enough tickets, or whatever the excuse may be. You end up having performed the show expecting to get paid, and you didn't get paid. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing a show for promotion or publicity, and there's even a portion of your career where you kind of have to do a little bit of that more often than not. But if you are expecting to get paid, it's nice to actually get paid at the end. Remember that most promoters are speculators. They're speculating, they're hoping that enough people will come and pay so that everybody will get paid, so there's enough money to make back what they invested. Now, a lot of promoters will leverage and not have the money up front to cover everything if all doesn't go well, and that's unfortunate. That's just a part of the business. Here's the thing. I've been managing and promoting and just doing things in the music business since I was a kid. And as you guys know, I've always told the story about how I kind of literally grew up in the business. My mom was a Motown era singer. I'll tell you a story about how I got to the point of understanding how to protect artists, of how I learned to make sure that artists always get paid. Over the years, I've managed dozens of groups, and I can tell you that not once since I was 16 years old, not once have I ever had an artist not get paid when they were supposed to. Not once. 0 times. And you may be thinking, well, I don't know how that's possible because I've done this and I've done that and I've done this and I know so-and-so. Well, there's one little secret, there's one technique. Everybody knows about this technique, but for some reason people don't push it. They feel like it's offensive to use this technique. But the bottom line is, this is how the music business works. Let me tell you the story. I was 14, 15 years old, and my mother had decided to go back out on the road and go back on tour. Now, she used to sing with the Crystals and the Marvelettes way back in the day. What happened was her and some of her old singers got together and they formed this group called Deja Vu. And so they did all the Crystals, all the Tiffanys, all the Marvelette songs, and they were touring around doing these kinds of things. And so that was my first experience at 14, 15, becoming a road manager. And I got to go on the road with them. I got to help set things up and do things. And so one day we're at, I believe it was the Showboat Dinner Theater. And they're doing a show, and they were supposed to do 3 shows that night. So they went and they did their thing, and Mr. Postman, and all this other kind of stuff, all the favorite songs everybody loved, and everybody loved it. It was great. And at the end of the first show, we were taking a break. So now we had already been there all day, setting up and everything, and I was there assisting the road manager, and I was still learning that portion of the business. And I remember, it's actually a little side bunny trail here. That's the first time I experienced a ladies' restroom. It was really weird. Here I am, a teenager, 14 years old, 15, somewhere around there. And I walk into this place, and there's the foyer, there's the lobby, and then there's a room. And it's got like this little glow, like a little red glow coming out of it. So I walk over to this room, and there's all this mood lighting, and there's a couch, and there's love seats, and there's chairs, and a coffee table, and there's plants, and there's a little candy dish, and then there's like paintings on the wall. And I was like, wow, this is nice. But it was big. I mean, maybe 10 people could comfortably be in there, relaxing, having a good time. But it was strange to me that this was right off of the foyer. I mean, this was a big facility, so, it couldn't be for the general public, but why was this right at the entrance? Normally you have to go down a hallway to get to the green room or something like that, and it's like, wow, well, okay, maybe they just have the dressing rooms up front like this or whatever, okay. So I sit down on the couch, grab a couple candies out of the dish, I'm eating them, I'm looking at the magazines, and they're all women's magazines. They're all Vogue and Cosmopolitan and these kinds of things, and it's like, as a young boy, it's like, who wants to read this stuff? It was all women's magazines. I didn't quite get it yet. So I got up and I'm walking around, and then there's another little room in the back, so I go to the room in the back, and it happens to be a rest area. There's stalls there, and there's little mints and breath fresheners and perfume and all kinds of stuff on the counter, and again there's plants and it's nice and everything. And so I thought it was a dressing room area that I was in, but I noticed that there was no shower. And I said, okay, well that's kind of strange, but that's okay. There's like 4 or 5 stalls there. And then I look and I say, there's no urinal here. So now I'm like, this doesn't really make sense. This is weird. If this was, a unisex bathroom, there'd be something for men and women. So then I'm thinking about, it's like, something's not right here. Hello? I turn around, I go back out in the room and I look. And I was like, man, this is really a nice place. And so I kind of just casually stroll out and I look at the door and it says ladies. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the bathroom? You gotta be kidding me. So I was like, man, let me go see what the guys' room is like. So door right next to it is men's. So I come into the men's, and well, if you've ever been into a men's room, it's pretty plain. Just pretty much tile and just a counter and a couple urinals, a couple stalls, and that's it. No plants, no magazines, no couch, no rest area, no chilling area, no nothing like that. And I was like, man, what is this? This is crazy. Well, I've learned over the years that men and women's rooms are a lot different. There's probably a reason why plants are not in the men's restroom, if you know what I mean. And the ladies have to have their little congregation area. So that was the first time I experienced that, and it was interesting to me. So this whole time was really, again, I'm a teenager first of all, but then I'm learning all these things about the music business. I'm on tour, I'm on the road, this is great. And so I remember just kind of hanging out and waiting for the second set. And I remember watching this intense conversation between my mother, the road manager, and the guy who had booked us, the entertainment booker. And I'm watching and I'm listening, and he's like, oh, come on, guys, blah, 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 blah. He's trying to negotiate. So at any rate, Mom comes, she's like, okay, pack up all the stuff, let's go, we're going. And I'm like, oh, but we have 2 more shows. She's like, nope, we're not doing them. I was like, oh man, that's messed up. So pack up everything, we're going and going. And I say, hey, what's the deal? Why aren't you doing the show? I thought we were supposed to do 3 shows tonight. And she goes, well,